everyone, welcome to the Royal Vanity. I'm Brianna and I'm the swing for the Princess Academy and the Villain's Lair here at PattyCake Productions. What swing means is that I'm the understudy for all the princesses and villains, and I have to be able to transform myself into any of these roles as needed. In this series, I'm going to be showing you how you can transform yourself right along with me into any of these iconic characters. If you'd like to see more of me, you can find me on Instagram at Brianna Fogden. So we're gonna start with foundation and how I do my base. So this is where some money gets involved, but I'm very frugal when it comes to makeup. However, there are some things specifically to do with a base foundation that I think it is worth spending money on. One of those things is this Farcelli Unicorn Essence as a primer. And you can use anything as a primer. My skin works very well with this, and a lot of other makeup artists have said that it is the best thing that they have found. So I trust their opinion. Again, I am untrained. This is just what I've found from experience. So Farcelli is best known for their 24 karat gold elixir. If you've seen videos or things of that, this is their special primer. So I just put it on. The price point is a whopping $50. However, this small little bottle lasts for a very, very, very long time. I think this is only the third bottle that I've had in the past 3+ years. So it smells like unicorns. It smells really sweet and yummy. And once you put it on, because it is an oil, you think that it would stay oily, but it doesn't. It actually kind of gets a little bit tacky, which is pretty cool because the makeup actually like sticks to it. And because it's an oil, it moisturizes your face very nicely too. I have very dark under eye circles. I have found that the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Corrector is the best thing to cover up my dark circles. So on just a flat concealer brush, I just apply it to my under eye. And you can see already it's canceled out some of the purple. So if I have like any other blemishes going on, because life happens, I'll just take this and put it on any redness I have. So I'm gonna use the foundation that I typically use when I'm performing, which is the Revlon Photo Ready Airbrush Effect. This is an old bottle because I basically bought stock in this because it works so well, and I've turned so many people onto this. Another thing that I spend money on are beauty blenders. Now, some people apply makeup with a brush, some people use those silicone sponges, some people use cheaper sponges. Whatever works for you is what works for you. So I just squirt it right on and get going. This foundation is super full coverage, which is really great when you're performing, especially if you're under lights. Like if you're a dancer or a singer and you're under lights all day, this is great for that. And please blend down your jawline, because it makes it very clear that you're wearing makeup when you have a stark contrast from the color of your face and the color of your skin. So try and find a foundation that matches your skin color to begin with, and then just make sure you blend it down. So because my under eye circles are so bad, this makes me feel better. I use it every day. This is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. It's $27, but again, these things last so long that it actually is worth investing in. This is the color Fair Neutral. They do have a lot of different shades, so feel free to try them all. And this stuff dries very quickly, so you want to move fast when working with this. And I sort of do use this as a highlighter too, just because the shade is right and just gives me more coverage, which when you're performing is never a bad thing. So if I was doing makeup for a rounder face character like Snow White or Anna or even Ariel, I would stop here and I would not contour because you want the roundest face possible for those characters. If we are going to be doing some other characters which you could contour for, like Aurora or Cinderella, this is where I'm gonna start contouring. And sometimes this is a little too intense for people, which is totally fine if you just wanna use the face your mama gave you. The contour stick that I found works best is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is in the color Shadow. It's $25. Another kind of bigger price point, but these things last forever. So the pattern on my face right now is specific for my face. This is the pattern that I found that's worked best for me. Your face is different, so you just kind of need to play and see how you photograph, but please keep in mind that this may not look the best on you. So to blend this, I have this Sigma brush. This is the F04 Extreme Structure Contour. You can use anything. You could use a sponge. Some people even prefer to use like more of a liquid contour. Some people prefer to use a palette. Whatever you may like, this works best for me. So you need to be very careful when you're contouring that you kind of keep these patterns in the same general location. You don't want to be going up to your like highlight region. Another good rule for contouring is blend up, don't blend down. So if you notice, I was doing circular motions bringing it up. If I go down, it's going to mess up the like shapes of my jaw, which I don't want. So that's sort of a rough blending. So I just go back in with my beauty blender with still the product on it from the concealer that I used. And I'm just gonna blend it all together. And really make sure that these lines down here especially are nice and clean and right where I want them. So now that I'm happy with this, I have this contour kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills. When I go to set my contour, you have to be so careful that you don't use a color that's too warm. A lot of contour comes out very orange and it just doesn't look believable. You want to present a believable face that like your bone structure is actually like this. So this middle one I found is the perfect cool powder. So I just take a big fluffy brush. It doesn't really matter what brush you use, just use what you have. But if you're wondering, this is the Morphe M527. And I just go right over my contour. And the biggest thing to remember is blend. And you may not be able to see a big difference in color, which is fine. It's just that now this is set when you go to powder your entire face. So for different types of powder, there's a lot out there. Again, this is just what you prefer. I'm actually gonna be using something called Glow Skin Beauty. It just came in this little thing. It's a little translucent powder, but I found that this works best for me and I like this color a lot. When my beauty blenders go to die, I bring them back and use them for powder. So with beauty blenders, I forgot to say, you should always wet them. They shouldn't be soaking wet and they shouldn't be too dry. So I usually run them under water and squeeze them for about 30 seconds and make sure the water is warm. And for whatever reason, it's the pressing of the powder that makes your makeup stay in place all day. And I don't know why a wet-ish beauty blender does it, but it does. And this is what works for me. And then with just a big fluffy powder brush, I just go back over it and take off any excess powder. And this is where you'll want to go back over on your contour too. And notice how I didn't do my eyelids either, because of course that's where eyeshadow is going to be going, and we want the most stick on those eyelids as possible. So don't put any powder there yet. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Again, this base would be with contour, would be for Aurora, Cinderella, really any of the princesses that have more of an angular face. This base without contour would be for looks like Snow White, Anna, Ariel, those princesses with a rounder face. So this is step 1, and if you want to see what step 2 would be like, click here.